Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. On today's video, we're going to be exploring the city of Orlando and its surrounding areas. Welcome to Florida, and we're going to be on 192, which is one of the most notorious streets in the city of Orlando and the vicinity. Now, when you look at the Orlando metropolitan area, there's a lot of notorious roads, Orange Blossom Trail. But 192 has an interesting story that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today about a movie that's on YouTube called The Florida Project. Now, this is a movie that you probably don't want to watch with your kids, but you should definitely watch if you're an adult. It's about the life of children. It's a single mother who is dealing with some adult situations in her personal life, and she's in the city of Orlando, right here off this highway. The movie is based right here on this road, and it shows that while for the most part tourists see the parks and they see the lights and they see the attractions, that the real Floridians living here face a different situation. In this movie, The Florida Project, which is on YouTube, and hopefully somebody on our channel watching can drop the link at the bottom. I think you have to pay a few dollars to watch it. And again, it's not something you want to watch with your kids, but it is an eye-opening experience for those who are thinking about moving to Florida and who are not aware that not everybody who lives in Florida is on vacation. And while there's a lot of people on vacation, that not everybody here in Florida is on vacation. And we're going to go to the hotel where this movie was filmed on this video. We're going to drive right on 192 and go all the way to this iconic hotel where this movie was filmed. And it follows a story of children whose mothers are working the streets and their adventures alone, sneaking in the parks. And I guess it's really sad too, because despite living in Orlando, those kids were never ever able to afford to go to the park. So it almost makes you want to cry. And while it is a movie, this is a real life situation. Like, I grew up in Florida and I never went to Disney. So I think at the end of the movie, if I remember, if you're watching this video, you're welcome to comment, of course, and participate in this conversation. But if I remember, it's been a while since I watched the movie. If I remember, at the end of the movie, the kids ran into the park. They just ran in there. They blew past security, and a bunch of these kids, they just stormed the place, and they went in there for the first time. And that's where the movie ends. It's a very sad, tragic movie that highlights, the life of kids growing up in Florida. And while it's based around Orlando, the scenario depicted in this movie could very well be the story of somebody in Naples, Orlando, Newport Richie, Daytona Beach, where you have this Florida that millions of tourists see and live and experience every single day. But the working class people, their reality in this place is so different. And it goes into things like where the kids would go to hotels and they would pretend to be staying at the hotel. Like, the mother would take the kids into a hotel and they would pretend to be guests so that they can have free lunch or whatever, free breakfast. That's one of the things they did. Last night, I stayed at a hotel yesterday, and this is a really expensive hotel. Now, again, I stay there, and I'm wearing, a sweater and some sneakers, and there's a guest party at this hotel. Now, again, this is a luxury hotel we're staying at. This isn't like, a holiday. And it's a luxury hotel that just got built. And there's an event, there's a big wedding at this hotel. And I had checked in the morning the next day, the previous day. Checked out. I had already checked out, but I came back to the hotel because their Wi-Fi was great, and I was using their Wi-Fi, and so I technically wasn't supposed to be there. But if they said something to me, I would just right then and there book another night and what we're going to tell me, you know. But the guy at the hotel came up to me, the bartender comes up to me. He says, "Nice sweater you're wearing. It's a very nice sweater." What he was really saying was, you know, hey, we have a wedding going on here and you're wearing a sweater. You know, these people are wearing like mink suits. I've never seen anything this ridiculous my whole life. You know, mink suits. There's an orca on the side of that building. I gotta take Katie there later. She loves orcas and orca crap for some reason. That boy ain't right. So, if you're wondering what happened to Katie, she's at the hotel. We're gonna get back to her in a few days. She might do a live stream later if she's up for it, but she's at the hotel. She's not feeling too well. And at the end of the day, though, my point being that, you know, he said, you know, your sweater, you wear a nice sweater. What he was really saying was, you know, look around you. These people are wearing like $3,000 mink suits. So now you look like a bum in our lobby. You know what I mean? Which to me was kind of offensive. I knew what he was really trying to say, of course. I'm not slow. But now I can't dress the way I dress because all these people are having their gala, whatever the crap. I don't know. It was very, I felt like insignificant, you know? I felt like crap. I felt like I was an eyesore. They made me feel like less, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to give that hotel a review and include that. I don't know if I'm in the wrong or in the right, but it made me feel bad. But to the point, now in this movie, you know, they would go through scam. You know, the movie highlights all the scams and frauds and all the things that they do to survive here. Because again, single mother with kids, and at the end they take the kids away from her. It's a sad movie. And I mean, the details of what it was about, like as far as what happened in the storyline, I can't remember too well. But it's something along those lines. And you know, the mother trying to provide for her kids despite her own personal problems. It's an interesting movie that kind of highlights a lot about Florida. There are some patches here that are wooded, and they're kind of like protected areas, so this is kind of wooded here. You go through a few patches like that, and then you go back into urban areas. So this is one of those patches of kind of wooded areas. It's an interesting movie, and if you're thinking about moving to Florida, and you don't mind watching a movie that's a little bit more intense in their content, it's an eye-opening movie, because a lot of people move to Florida and they don't realize that that the reality of people that live here in Florida isn't the paradise, living by the beach, or you know, going. Not everybody can afford that, and there's people here living some real life situations. And when you tell people, you know, you're from Naples or Orlando, or they kind of blow you off as you've never had real life experiences, or because it's a rich place or a very fancy affluent place, or there's attractions and parks, that the people that are living in these places don't have real life struggles and hardships. Watch that movie, and you will have an eye-opening experience to the reality. US 192 East for 5 miles. To the reality of what living in Florida really entitles, which it means that it's not just this giant amusement park and beaches for everybody, that there are some real life situations going on. I actually wish I had driven the other way and shown you guys some of the abandoned hotels that are right there where we started the video. I think it was a failure on my part not to drive the other. I should have started the video just highlighting some of the vacant hotels that were there, because there's a really weird contrast of all the new hotels and fancy stuff we're looking at, but there's also a few like vacant hotels right in that area. So it's a really weird contrast. But this is a street where you see all this glamour, but then if you look a little bit deeper, you'll find kind of an underlying beast underneath all that that's a little bit different. And I know if you're watching this, it's kind of hard to believe, but watch that movie. And obviously it is a movie, but it highlights the real life situations that some of these kids are living out here. I can already see right here some abandoned hotels, so we're gonna go into there. It looks like it's closed off. It might be something worth trespassing over. It's there's an abandoned hotel complex there, and it's all fenced in. It would take them trespassing to get over there, but right across the street there's a bunch of abandoned graffitied out hotels and stuff right there. That might be something where I have to jump the fence to get in there for you guys, but it's worth looking at. And some of those things get knocked down. Like I did an abandoned hotel in Everglades City, way out in early Everglades. It's a massive complex. There's actually like entire there's like a 10-story building over there. I think what I'm gonna have to do here is I'm gonna have to do an edited video because I'm gonna have to stop, park, take the time. So we'll do this drive around, but I might also do like a more detailed video showing you guys some of this stuff on this 192 road. So I'll do this drive around, but I'm gonna have to slow it down and do like an edited video here. It's interesting how you have this contrast between all these new hotels, and then right next to it you have a giant complex like that that's just completely vacant. It's just weird. So I do recommend the movie The Florida Project. No association disclaimer. It got nothing to do with them. And again, don't watch it with your kids. It's more of a mature audience video, and it's really sad. And I've met people in that situation, and I've met kids, and I've been when I grew up in Florida. Obviously, I've met kids who, not me personally, but I've had friends who've been in situations like that where your kid, single mother, stuff like that. Very peculiar situations unfolding. And now, I've lived in Florida my whole life, and I'm just now starting to really in the last year, maybe year and a half, to be able to do all the Florida things that people associate with Florida, where the previous 20 years before that, here's a homeless person with a shopping cart in front of all these fancy buildings. So there's a contrast here. So here's another, here we go, we start to see these vacant abandoned hotels. And that right there looks like I don't know if it's vacant, it looks vacant. Maybe it's still occupied, oh gosh, it's that ugly. I can't tell if it's that ugly. Here's a person here missing a leg. Dominican food right there, and Puerto Rican food. So now you're entering like the more, there's definitely attractions here. Kind of like a Panama City beach without the beach and more environment. But I'm gonna have to slow it down here and just kind of do an edited video showing like all the grimy stuff that's up in here. You can start to see all these little shady motels like this one right here. This one's called I can't tell. There are people staying in that one, surprisingly. So it's odd that you have like these fancy stuff here in the Orlando area and these attractions, but like there's just this other element right next to it. Abandoned buildings, and it's a very odd compilation of structures and situations. Very strange. Development right next to abandoned buildings, which is odd because it highlights that Florida tourism, it's really like that. Like Florida tourism is one oddball of abandoned things next to things. It's like, how many of these businesses are actually successful? There's so much of it, and tourism's not always here. one reason Orlando grew is because it's further inland, and people feel like it's a safer area as far as natural disaster. Come on, bro. Get out of the way. Definitely one of the most interesting roads in Florida. This right here. And it's a place you really gotta slow it down and just soak it in. Very strange. Adam DeWoo has done a lot of videos right through here. And a lot of the other big YouTubers have done videos right here. So we're getting close to our destination. It's gonna be up ahead on the left. And we'll be able to see this.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Hart Avenue.
That I am referring to here, which is where this movie was filmed. And there it is. I mean, it's one of the most iconic Florida things you're gonna find. I'm actually gonna go a little bit further ahead.
Turn left onto Hart Avenue, then turn left onto Vineland Road.
So I see where it's at. I'm gonna go a little bit further ahead, and we'll come back around to it. Okay? I'm gonna show you guys the rest of the strip. It's right there on the left, and that's where we're gonna end the video. But we're gonna swing back around, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna go a little bit further down this little road here. Show you guys a few more attractions, and then we'll come back around. And if you think about it, it's odd that somebody would find this place attractive. If you really look carefully, it's a very odd place that, you know, it's kind of like a Panama City beach of sorts with all types of. There's a helicopter flying right there. You can rent helicopters and all types of weird crap here. I mean, this is the East Coast biggest center of tourism. Like, this is where people, the entire country, comes here to party and be entertained. So you'll see, Orlando is one of the wildest cities in the country as far as some of the things you see out here. Just ironic and iconic. Is this a get-together of Mazdas? Yeah, we'll swing back around and check that out. That is definitely an oddity right there, all to itself. A little get together in the parking lot there. So yes, it's a very unique, interesting place. Where the tourists see the palm trees and the locals see the motels. Florida, Florida, Florida. Florida's wildest road. Crazy stuff out here, man. El Tanapa. Let's see if I can pull you, turn up ahead. Here's one right here. Look at this thing. So, you know, in that movie, like, those kids were exposed to a lot of dangers from the neglect of, you know, their domestic situation, and also from outsiders. And there's people who were protecting and people who were harming. Very strange movie. And I think one of the most underrated documentary type movies you'll find on the internet. There's a lot of crap on the internet. This movie, despite its graphic content, has a very effective, really effective delivery method to bring to you content that, while graphic to an extent, highlights, you know, one of those things that is in plain sight if you look for it, but it's a little bit more and it's relatable to me because I grew up in Naples, Florida, a very wealthy city, and I grew up very poor in a very wealthy city. So to me, that movie was very relatable because based off of my life experiences, I lived not the exact situation, but relatable situations to where if you grew up in Florida, like I grew up in Naples, Florida, and just like here, you have all these attractions, and then when you start contrast to that, you have poverty and outright misery. But as a child, you don't have the ability to change that. You understand? You have the ability to absorb and be exposed to those situations involuntarily, but you don't have the ability to control any of those factors. So now that I'm an adult, last night I was up to 2 in the morning working. You know what I mean? Oh, here's that car gathering. I'm not even impressed. I'm gonna pass on. They're Mazdas. I'm not in the Mazdas. I have a lot of respect for all different car cultures, from lowriders to donks to schoolhead Yukons, classic cars, you name it, I respect it. But Mazdas, I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that, bro. I really am. So here we are, guys, the Mecca of America right here. Let's get back down there and look at this place. Now, I've seen it before. I don't think last time I just drove through, I didn't actually get out and like absorb the building. It's interesting that they agreed to let this movie be filmed here. Well, they're just out to make money either way, so if they got paid, I'm sure they're okay with it. And it might actually bring people to their hotel. Heck, notoriety is notoriety. However you look at it, notoriety is notoriety. So let's get in here. Find this place. We're not too far from it. Notoriety is notoriety, however you put it. Alright, I'm excited. I feel like a groupie right now. Despite how much I criticize being a groupie and being whatever, I feel like a groupie right now going to this hotel. It's right up the road. CC's Pizza. Crazy stuff, man. Let's get down there. We're almost there, guys. It's back in here somewhere. Look at the businesses. Tattoo place. Dialysis center. I think it's right behind this road right here. Magic Castle. There's a logo right there. Or name. Magic Castle. Alright, y'all. You see the purple? Wow, this is so surreal. Oh, no, 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 no. There it is, man. The Magic Castle, where the Florida project was filmed. There it is. A few dollars on YouTube and you can watch that demo movie. So weird. Yep. This is the Magic Castle. Interesting. I don't know what it costs to stay here. Yeah. Quite the awkward experience to be here, actually. Very awkward to be here. Very strange, very, very strange to be here. This bright purple door looking motel type of place. Interesting, interesting. There's a boat here for some reason. Well, time to do some Adam the Woo type videos. This is the drive around. I'm also going to do a more elaborate video later. So there it is. I mean, not short of my expectations. It is definitely quite the oddity here. Check it out from Florida.